Hi, I'm Jameson Newlander, Alan Frog from the Lost Boys, and you're watching the Frog Brothers podcast.
Let me get 'em!
It's refreshment time, folks.
I'm just gonna go watch a movie.
Do you like scary movies?
I don't watch movies.
I have to return some videotapes.
You have a TV?
No. I just like to read the TV guide. Read the TV guide. Don't need a TV.
Books, records, films, these things matter. Call me shallow. It's the fucking truth.
Over 1,600 titles, each for rent at just $2 the first night, and only
Finish him. I don't watch TV.
Yeah, but you are aware that there's an invention called television, and on this invention they show shows, right?
It's a Laserdisc.
Okay, I want channels 18, 24, 63, 109, 87, and Weather Channel.
Welcome to the Frog Brothers podcast with your hosts, Justin and Alec.
Hello, and welcome to episode 72 of the Frog Brothers podcast.
72?
I'm your host, Justin. And
Hello.
with me is my esteemed colleague, my brother, Alec. Welcome. How are you?
Welcome. I'm doing pretty well. One thing I've noticed about the compressor on Zoom is that when someone interrupts someone, it compresses the other one, and it's very weird, and I don't like it.
Yeah, the audio quality of Zoom is pretty much crap, but here we are. So
yeah.
So holy shit!
Hell of a week, man.
Yeah, a week, a day, everything.
Yeah, and I feel like a kid on Christmas. We got.
I'm going to show a few things off.
10 hours to go before the big event. But yeah, we should get into some other things before we get to the obvious news of the Ghostbusters trailer impending tomorrow morning.
Yes. So, news. What do we have? So if you're a Ghostbusters fan like us, and hopefully if you're listening, you're enjoying it. I know we got friends that listen that may not love it as much as we do, but hopefully our enthusiasm carries it for you, because they have an official app now that's got some more official photos of props. So anyone that's into prop making or prop building, pretty exciting to see that stuff. And it also just happens to come out in time that I'm working on the Midland Empire Ghostbusters panel for Planet Comic-Con, which will be the Friday from 4 to 5. If you're in the Kansas City area and you're going to go to Planet, come check that out. We'll be hosting a panel on Ghostbusters props.
It's just depending on how things go, I might be hosting a little, but with you. But I also might be trying to film more of it too, to put it online for the rest of you guys to see who won't be able to be in Planet Comic-Con in Kansas City.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty amazing. It's a really exciting time to be a Ghostbusters fan, really, for anything.
Exciting? People are dying. I don't think the word I would choose to describe it is exciting.
And actually, in this case, it would be, because then you'd get to catch those people.
True.
So we're gonna give you a few teases. So I went to Target earlier today to grab a few things for the kids to eat.
You're gonna go there already?
Yeah, going right there real quick.
All right, I guess so.
I'm not gonna go crazy with it. We're just gonna do some teases. So I found some things at the store. Expect a review video coming soon. But this guy here is the Egon Spangler from the Ghostbusters line, the Plasma series, or not the Plasma series. This is the Fright Features Ghostbusters line. So a little different than the old school Fright Features, but it's pretty awesome. Alec has those over there in package still. My kids open mine, so obviously it's for them, but we'll have a review open. Don't expect an unboxing, just review.
Yeah, I'm not going to unbox these. I don't even know if I'll buy another set to unbox. If I see them in stores and eventually I just have the extra money, I probably will, but I'm good with just having these in package. I like it.
That's what I was thinking. The packaging on those looks really good. There's everything you can see in there, displays well. So,
well, it's not like the best design of a packaging, but it's different than other Ghostbusters packaging. It's colorful, and I like that, and it's bright. And like I said, it's different, because a lot of the Ghostbuster stuff for the last 10 years has been black and green and caution. And mind you, there is some caution tape coloring on there, but it's just a different vibe. And that's a kid's line too, so it's a whole different thing. People don't like those figures. I get it, but I'm a whore for the Ghostbusters, so I get it.
But the people that don't like that shouldn't be buying them. Leave those for the kids.
Like
my kids my kids went wild for them tonight when I got them. So it was
Yeah,
amazing.
the kids were definitely wild tonight.
Yes.
They were trying to murder me with a car, pinching me. It was hilarious, but
They were
Gremlins.
Yes.
Um,
So I'm gonna do a quick flash of something else over here. Alec already did his ghost whistle review.
Yes, I have the ghost whistle here. If you haven't seen the review for this, it is up on our YouTube page.
Now I've obviously got 2 of these, one for each of my kids. They're already opened, but they got to get all the sounds on there. One of mine wasn't working, so I'm assuming it's bad batteries, so I need to check that.
I was like, did they break it already? But
And then let's not forget one of the most important pieces here. This guy, Kids Proton Pack.
Review also coming soon.
The Kenner vibes, very cool on there. And Alec was a god amongst mere mortals when he found these and sent the links over. So,
well, they posted the links for these up earlier in the week, right? People found them, and shortly thereafter, all the links stopped being as descriptive.
Yes, and it just had like Walmart, like it basically just said Ghostbusters action figure or something like that, or
But
even just figures.
I still went to there's a little alert button where you can say, oh, they say out of stock, but it's not because they were all out of stock. Some of them just weren't even, no stock was put up yet. So it'll say out of stock, but some of them did go briefly up the first day with the pictures and stuff. And some people got those packs. Maybe you're one of them. Same with the ghost whistle. People are seeing the proton wands in the stores now and everything too, as well as the mini pups in the jars. I'm looking for those, baby.
And the proton wand and the Ecto one. So there's a lot of stuff hitting shelves right now. It's crazy.
Yeah. And it's all actually pretty affordable. I'm happy with it. These figures are $10.99 at Target, but I think they're maybe $8.99 at Walmart is what they'll probably be.
Yeah, $9.99 is probably what I was guessing, something like that, $9.84.
Yeah.
Try to cut everybody, but yeah, I mean that pack itself was $14.92 or something like that for that and the ghost whistle, so very affordable. Especially if you want to just get the proton pack and the thrower. The thrower is a little more expensive, but it looks awesome from what I've seen.
It has extra parts too. It's just kind of cool. Also, we got a couple other things at Walmart this week. I got a Green Light Hollywood. What is that? Green Light Collectibles. I haven't seen their stuff before. I don't think. Maybe some of it every now and then. But Walmart doesn't always carry these. But they have a new line out of some of these movie and TV show cars and stuff. I got the Crown Vic from X-Files from '93.
Yeah, I think they make a version of the Christine car that I've been looking for. I've seen another car from Christine that wasn't the main one, and that's the same brand, and I'm like really been looking for it.
Now, I don't know if you're as crazy for X-Files as me, but they do have another one of these at the Blue Springs Walmart I saw today, but I found this at the Independence one.
Nice. That's awesome.
You know,
the big holiday hit for my Smash.
Yeah, that's actually just what I put in my hand. We were able to snag these bad boys.
Finally found it. Where did you find that one at?
The Independence Target or Walmart, and it wasn't. They were just like thrown out on a random shelf in the action figure aisle.
Now, this is Funko, so it may not go to the adult collector area, but I would assume since most of the pops are over there, that's where I'd been looking.
Yeah, same.
Walking through the Walmart by me the other night in Blue Springs.
I think somebody did see them over there when I saw the first post about these like a couple months ago.
Oh, maybe that's, yeah, I think, yeah, it just depends on the store, but I was walking through and some of the Walmarts have put the Playmobil Back to the Future DeLorean on clearance, so it's gone from like 36 to 26, and I was just perusing around over there to see if they had Marty's truck in, and I look at the bottom shelf and there's Turbo Man, and I felt like Arnold Schwarzenegger on parade day.
Hey everybody, this guy's looking for Turbo Man. You know, and I actually watched it last night because I was just like in the mood.
Fuck yeah, man. Like that gets me all hyped up for the
holiday. Makes me want, I'm like, damn, I really wish they would release a booster. And all I kept thinking this whole time during this movie, I don't know if it's the toy collector in me or the missed opportunity childhood or the adult in me who now understands how action figures come in waves. And if you don't get it, you don't fucking get it. Basically.
Yes.
I'm like, all right, at least buy him a booster and a Dementor. Buy both of those, and then you can find Turbo Man because there's plenty of those around, like the first scene in the store.
Mm-hmm.
You clearly got plenty of money, so buy those two at least.
Yeah, you start that collection, so then they've got everything, not just the one, because there's nothing worse than just having one toy to align and not having to pretend like you've got everything else or makeshift, make believe. And kids do that all right, but man, it's just nothing as satisfying as having a good line.
I also picked up a ton of movies this week. I don't know what happened. I just kind of did. But I found a VHS copy of Howard the Duck.
Hell yeah, that looks clean too.
Yeah, 99 cents at Vintage Stock. They don't ever really have a lot of VHS in there, but occasionally there's a tape or two, and I see what they have, and I picked this one up because this is $1, so I was like, eh.
For $1, it's a good movie. Taya Leone looks great in that, right? Isn't that her name? You say that right? Are you listening?
Yeah, I'm just like, huh. Leah Thompson?
Yeah, why the hell do I always confuse those two? I'm so stupid.
I was literally thinking, am I on crack? I'm pretty sure Leah Thompson's in this movie.
Yeah, I'm stupid. Don't mind me.
I got a little stack here. I'm just gonna flash through real quick. Jennifer's Body. Expect a review of that.
Really good horror movie right there.
Yes. Tim Burton classic about films. If you like films and filmmaking, Ed Wood. Some great appearances in there. Bill Murray. I picked up Batman. Didn't have this one, and I was like,
well, when we ranked our Batman movies, you know where that one stands for me. I fucking love that movie.
Yes. You know who Dario Argento is? Do you remember?
The name sounds really familiar, but
he directed Suspiria and did the either just Italian or European cut of Dawn of the Dead. But he did this other movie called Deep Red, among others. He did Demons as well, which is another one I'm going to get and we should cover because that one takes place in a movie theater full of like demons and shit. But this one, I don't even know what it's about, but it's called Deep Red. It was only $6, so I was like, sure.
Hell yeah, that's awesome.
Picked up the OG Frankenstein.
Yeah, it's essential viewing right there.
Yeah, we got to cover that this October. Oh, what do you know? Piranha, which is one of our movies this week.
Yep, we're going to be talking about that tonight.
And today, I actually went and snagged the remake of Piranha, the second remake.
Saw that at the drive-in theater.
Only got 2 more to go. Sleepaway Camp. Now, they had a used DVD of this up there that I've been eyeing for some time for $14.99. Then I found the new Blu-ray at the same store for $13.99, and I was like, what are you fucking stupid? What is this? When I bought the Blu-ray because I was like, sure. And then I picked up Invisible Man because I think it was only $11 on Blu-ray with digital at Target, and that was a fucking good flick. So
yeah, that was a great rebound after the Mummy movie they did with.
Well, this one is not part of that.
I know, but after they abandoned plans for that whole.
Well, yeah, it's like
they're like, oh, let's do something modern, but also has the same vibes.
Something you ordered for us both.
Oh yeah,
Bookhouse Boys patch.
Bookhouse Boys patch. If you're a Twin Peaks fan, you'll know it.
Expect to see that on some fall outerwear.
Exactly. If you see us wearing red and black flannel with that patch on it, you know.
I'm gonna cut my hair and start slicking it back too. And speaking really eccentrically.
Mine looks beautiful right now. With it being slicked back under my headphones.
I'm gonna start drinking coffee, shit, all the time out of a good old mug.
So I got a few other things. So I was able to get one of the 3,000 Ecto-1 Hallmark ornaments that should be arriving by Friday. But let's be honest, Hallmark's based in Kansas City. We're based in Kansas City. It's shipping from Kansas City to Kansas City. So realistically, I should have that like tomorrow, probably, or Wednesday at the very latest. So that'll be exciting to do a review on that.
Yeah.
I expect the next Ecto-1 review to be fucking ridiculous because we're going to have every fucking size of Ecto known to man in it.
The only one we won't have will be obviously the original Kenner Ecto.
Maybe. Depends on when we do it because I've got a few things in the works for that, as I told you earlier.
If that's the case, then you're just a prick. But all right.
I got several people that agree. Oh, if you're a fan of GB fans like I am, I pre-ordered their LC1 vintage style straps for the pack. So if you know anything about pack building or anything like that, you'll notice this is much slimmer kidney pad. And this other piece over here is the belt. So it's the thinner belt instead of the wide belt, the chunky belt. So that's going to be going on my primary pack. And then, yeah, these straps look excellent. So pretty stoked on how those came. So AJ Quick, keep up the excellent fucking work, my friend, because that is absolutely phenomenal.
That is correct.
And then another piece of news, we launched our Etsy store. So right now on Etsy, if you're watching on our YouTube, which hopefully you are, but if not, check it out or check the Instagram. We've got stickers available. So we've got the Beducci Studios, Edgar Frog, Vampire Ghost Mowgli mashup. Love that design. We've got the David Jurassic Frogs, as I call this design. So it's the Jurassic Park mashup sticker. Those are available as well. And then Beducci Studios knocked it out of the park with this killer replica image of Paul Rudd holding the ghost trap. So those are available now on our Etsy site. So just find us on there, order some of those. And we are happy to announce the official t-shirt site will be launching first thing tomorrow. We'll be sharing the links for that. So you can order a shirt.
And when he says tomorrow, he means today for you if you're listening to this on Tuesday.
Yes, as I
record on Monday nights.
Yes, so it will be available. So check the socials for where you can find your official shirts. We've got a Twin Peaks style logo on there as well that we haven't done stickers of yet. So we've got some good options on there. So you're gonna have 3 or 4 shirts to choose from initially. So
I also wanted to point out, I don't know if you bought the Ray Arnold attack pack with the Raptor from Comic-Con exclusive. I find that funny. Do you collect a lot of that series? Just the Comic-Con exclusives, huh?
No, I've got the Hammond 2-pack because I missed the original Hammond.
Oh, I see.
Came out the year before, so this has been an ongoing thing where every year they release one. So first year was Hammond, second year was Nedry, now this year was Mr. Arnold.
Yeah, pretty soon we're gonna be probably seeing that Tim pack. I think that's August 1st. So that's another thing to buy.
It's really difficult for me. I'm glad I didn't go down like a crazy vintage Jurassic Park kick because everything they're coming out with just looks so good.
Well, that's the thing is this is a movie line. That was a toy line.
Yep.
It's just different.
And
I'd like to go back and get some of the vintage stuff someday, but at the same time, I'm having so much fun with this collection. I'm like, I'm good with it right now.
Well, and if you're still looking for any of the Amber collection, lots of Targets have the Mr. Arnold figure and Ian Malcolm on clearance now. So some of those are like down to 10 or 12 bucks.
Yeah, and I'm just not going for the Amber collection, but that's just so I can justify buying more dinosaurs and other stuff. They look better, but yeah.
They look so good. And then a while back, I saw a tease that, and I don't know if it was an Amazon thing or not. It didn't have photos. It just said Amber Collection Tyrannosaurus Rex. So does that mean they're going to make a T-Rex and scale with those 6-inch figures? Because my God, if they do.
If they did, I might just buy that. You know what I mean? Like,
yes,
that'd be worth it.
But as of right now, I'm going for both lines, which is more than I want to do. I'm not getting a lot of the dinosaurs. I'm getting the human characters because
you should get the other ones you don't have, like Grant, Malcolm, and stuff, because they're on eBay and they're not too expensive. I bought them in box for less than $10 each.
Yeah,
those. They all come with, I think, compies and other little things and weapons and whatnot.
Oh, to circle back though, too, with this Paul Rudd sticker. Paul Rudd's obviously a hometown hero for us. And he's part of a group called the Big Slick Celebrity Tournament. They always kind of host that once a year to raise funds for Children's Mercy Hospitals. So for each sticker sale of the killer replica, I'm going to be donating a portion of the proceeds to Children's Mercy Hospital. So if you buy one of those, know that some of your money is going to go to a good spot. These are bigger than the other ones. They also cost more than the other stickers. Same thing with the t-shirts. So we're really trying to channel that Paul Rudd good vibe energy and donate back a little bit, since
positively charge, we
want that mood slime to be pink. We want to wake up feeling like $1 million. And if we can give back a little bit, that's just what I want to do. We're going to do what our role models do, and we're going to do some cool stuff like that. So consider more stuff like that down the line too. So if you're in town for Planet Comic-Con, we'll have those stickers available at our booth. I may or may not have a selection of shirts available then, but if not, we'll definitely have the links available for you to order one. So just know that that's going to go to a good spot.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, man, what else do you got for news?
Other than that, I got some more news still. We are going to do a reaction to the Chucky trailer tonight. So that'll be out as well today sometime. If you're on our YouTube, check that out as well. There's also a trailer for Jackass Forever out. Did you see that?
I did not see the trailer for that yet. I did hear it was coming.
It's it looks funny. It'll be interesting. If you ever liked those movies and can just enjoy them for what they are, which is stupid, trifling bullshit, then it's enjoyable. I have at one point Walmart had a box set of all the movies for like $10 or something. I bought them all. So
you're talking to a guy that was of age when Jackass came on, season 1, episode 1, Johnny Knoxville getting shots, getting vaccinated. Hey, guess what? Getting vaccinated before he got turned upside down in a dumpster, or not a dumpster, but a porta potty. So never fucking forget that, because it was insane, disgusting.
There's also apparently there's a I Know What You Did Last Summer TV series coming to Amazon Prime. So that series was a little less, it was trying to cash in on the style of movies of Scream and stuff at the time, and it did not hold up. It's just not as good as that kind of shit, but no, it's all right. But we'll see. I don't even have Amazon Prime, so it's like I probably won't even watch it, but we'll see what happens with that, right?
Yeah, that's kind of one of those I'll wait and hear. I did start checking out a couple episodes of the Resident Evil series that's on Netflix. So there's so much content coming out that Alec and I are going to do some season recaps, especially for like Netflix shows where you can't just do a week by week breakdown because those are so easy to binge.
We're going to do that on Chucky, though. Chucky is going to get one of those week by weeks.
Yes, Chucky.
Even if they put it out all at once, which I don't think they're doing, because it's going to air on, I think, Sci-Fi and USA. It's a joint production.
It's co-branded, which is interesting, but I'm all for it.
Pretty cool. I'm like, fuck it.
May as well. Whatever they can do to make it big.
And people are torn on the reaction to the trailer, but we'll get into that in the video when we talk about it. But yeah, that's about the extent of the news.
That's all the big news right now. So lots of stuff out there. So we've got a good episode ahead of us, though. Some excellent movies we got to talk about.
Yes, let's get into that.
You know what I just watched? Me pulling a can off some moron's fist. Return of the Jedi.
Did you see Alien when that creature was in that guy's stomach?
Oh my god! Oh my god! You ever seen that really old movie? Empire Strikes Back. Jesus, Tony.
Welcome to Retro Release Reviews.
1988, June 17th. A movie written by John Hughes comes out.
A movie I fucking love. This movie is so good.
I could watch this movie once a week for the rest of my life.
I seriously watched this movie twice for this podcast episode, because I watched it once with Liz, and then I just turned it on again yesterday afternoon as I was doing some chores around the house, because it's so good. I was like, yeah, I'll watch that again. I love this movie.
Oh, fuck yeah. I took a bunch of notes for this because it's hard to like keep track of all the cool shit in this movie.
One of my favorite things about it, just as we get in there, not to speak too much on specifics, is there's some lines that Dan Aykroyd says that are like straight out of Ghostbusters, just not intentionally, but just the way he says them and delivers them. It's hilarious that he says those in more than one film.
Yeah.
So I got a kick out of that.
The director, Howard Dutch, he also directed Pretty in Pink and Some Kind of Wonderful. Yeah, also both written by John Hughes, both those films. So
yeah, so he's a frequent collaborator. When John Hughes wasn't directing, obviously this is one of his go-to directors. So
Chris Columbus, I believe, was a producer.
Yeah, I think so. And didn't get all my notes on.
I didn't write that down, but I think I'm remembering seeing that. And he's I believe the director of Home Alone, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, he is. Also
written by Hughes. So frequent collaborators, interesting little group. Also connects to, Harold Ramis, just because of Harold Ramis directing the John Hughes film Vacation, along with Dan Aykroyd being in this movie. So it's just kind of like a melding of badassery here.
Yes. So good.
Obviously, John Candy as Chet Ripley. Dan Aykroyd as Roman Craig are the two standouts of this movie.
Yes.
Now, Connie Ripley, Stephanie Pharisee, or Pharisee, I don't know how you say her name.
I like the way you said it first sounded fancier, so let's go with that.
She's the mom in Hocus Pocus. And in How I Met Your Mother, she's the man maker, the woman that takes Barney's virginity.
That's hilarious.
She's like known as the neighborhood slut. So she's like an old lady that's a slut. So, you know.
Well, we don't shame that around here.
No shame for that. Just saying that's how the show depicted her.
Yep, she's doing the good work, and I'm sure everyone appreciates her.
And here's another interesting thing. I don't know if you noticed this. Did you do much research on the cast?
I did not.
So, you know, Kate Craig, Roman's wife. That's Annette Bening.
Yep.
Who is also Marvel in Captain Marvel.
Oh, shit.
It is.
I did not realize that.
Yeah, she's aged pretty good, but she doesn't look the same. But I don't know. It's just like a hell of a performance difference in different characters, and it makes me have a whole new respect for her as an actor. So
yeah, when you see someone that can do like a comedic role like that, but then also play off something more serious. I mean, it's, you know, because lots of times comedy actors just kind of get stuck into a rut where it's like where it's really, they don't really get to show their chops off as much as you would think.
Right. So and then, awesome. You know, Buck, he was in the Max Headroom show, which is very weird. I saw it on DVD one time. It's only like 13 episodes, one season. I almost bought it. But that's actually Max Headroom, the hacking incident of Max Headroom, which we should do a Six Sad World on that sometime. I'm actually going to write that down for maybe next week or something.
Take a note.
Because Max Headroom, have you ever heard about the hacking incident where somebody dressed as Max Headroom hacked like the TV station, I think in Chicago?
No.
And was like saying weird shit and like pulled out his ass and had it spanked by someone and shit.
No.
Yeah, pretty sick. But it's in our fucking intro when the guy throws the Pepsi can at the screen. Where was I going with this?
You're relating it back to the Great Outdoors is what you're doing.
Oh, yeah. Buck was in the Max Headroom show. Also, Wally, Robert Prosky, in Christine is the fucking garage owner or whatever.
Yes, he's great in this as the innkeeper, basically.
My favorite, I have to say, my favorite role of his though has to be Grandpa Fred in Gremlins 2. Dressed like fucking Dracula the whole time. It's fucking hysterical, and he has great Grandpa Munster vibes. This guy's a legend, and he's great in this too. So, just wanted to go down the list of those before we got into the whole. I'm sure we have equal notes here. I have a lot of notes. So let's talk about this thing.
Yeah, this movie is just classic. And Smokey the Bear's cousin, Horny the Bear.
Right. So let's talk about Yakety Yak. That's a fucking hell of an intro.
Dude, this movie has some fucking kicking tunes on it. And
fucking banger.
You just want to think like, is this like the Dan Aykroyd influence on this, right? It is, you know, it's got some Blues Brothers vibes to the music.
Yeah.
Just kind of that old school soul, R&B, rock and roll stuff. And you're like, fuck yeah, man.
And Yakety Yak had like a cover / remix hip hop version done by Two Live Crew. So that's pretty fun. You should check that out.
It's actually a fun cover. It's not like, oh, what the hell is this? You're like, fuck, that's kind of neat. I like it.
You know what prop we need to make?
What's that?
Some shotgun lamps.
That's what I was thinking when I watched this last time. I was like, oh my God, if I ever have a cabin, I'm going to have one of those.
I think I just want to make one for my living room, and people will be like, what the fuck? I'd be like, haven't you seen the Great Outdoors? I wouldn't have a fucking shotgun in here, but it'll be like a Nerf gun or some shit.
Yeah, I kind of want to get a picture of the bear and just like post it up in like a frame around the house or something.
Right.
Buy that shotgun lamp. That'd be amazing.
I think
if you're a lamp maker, make that happen, and then let me know what that's going to send me back.
Shit. Yeah, I like the sexy role playing though.
Yeah.
And you're like, huh, she actually is pretty attractive. Huh? I'm getting old. She's not. She doesn't look old or anything to me. She just looks pretty attractive. That's all I'm going to say about the matter.
You know, that whole dialogue's just hilarious because, like, clearly they're in love, and I think to me that's what I love the most about that scene is it just shows there are two people that really care. She's like, I can't do that in this filth, and he's like, come on, the kids are away, you know, like, and
right. It has like it's a playful vibe where he can tell that, like it. If the wrong person watched this movie, they'd be like, wow, he just like coerced her.
Yeah, but
it's like it's less than that because she's clearly into it and she's like,
well, she just liked that flirtation that he had with her. I
think that's something that happens every time they do it, or something she likes being chased after and pursued or something, you know. I think that's part of their relationship, like you said.
Yeah, that's the vibe, and that's why that works so well. The other piece that was pretty funny on that though was just you know, when Dan Aykroyd walks in with that video camera.
Oh yeah.
And that laugh he has in this movie, I love that. Like when I want to be obnoxious, I'll do a laugh like that. And you look and you're like, why do I do this? And you're like, well,
Opie's cousin, Horny the Bear.
Yeah. That's great. You know, sometimes you need a role play after a little while.
The editing of this film is brilliant too, because then it like hard cuts to excuse me.
Your balls are showing.
Yeah. It cuts to Roman and Chet on the porch, and Chet's just like laughing because out of like frustration and just like, shit. This is really what I have to put up with. I was literally about to get laid and just have like a good family vacation, and now this is happening.
Yeah, and he makes the comment even about him dying. He's like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I have lots of notes from this conversation because it's brilliant. He says, I don't understand why you want to come out here and live like a barbarian.
Yeah.
He says, you don't understand. I have, this is something I think we can relate to, and especially everybody living off of feeding off of the nostalgia. Everything's feeding us these days. He's like, I have great memories up here, and I want to pass those memories on to my kids. It's like, I think especially you can relate to that. I don't have kids so much,
but as a dad, you get those vibes. You're like, yeah, you want to do the right thing. You want to give them good memories that you look back on positively and kind of have them have those same memories, right? You know, that's me giving the kids the proton packs today. I'm like, hell yeah, I hope they remember this and like
exactly
cherish those moments later on.
And then his whole speech, he's like, what do what do you see? I only wrote a little bit of it down, but I see the underdeveloped resources of Wisconsin, Michigan, whatever else he says. Something, and then he goes fucking on about the radiation and the blood, low-grade medical waste, all safely sealed away, tucked away at the bottom of the lake.
For hundreds of years. He's like, what do you see?
Yeah.
I just see I see trees.
Well, nobody ever accused you of being a
visionary
or whatever. Yeah, vision. Yeah, I don't know what he says there, but it's fucking insult. What does that say? Heart attacks and strokes. Oh yeah.
Oh, the rest
you're probably all
attacks and strokes long before the rest of you, which is
I hope so. Just see a bunch of people you hate drop dead. I love that because you can clearly tell that Roman does get that he's being a total fucking dick to him because they're not playing it like he's ignorant, but it's fucking hilarious because they're jabbing back and forth while. Yeah, it's something you don't notice so much as you're a kid. And I've watched this movie my whole life and stuff. So
it's a perfect comedic pairing. And there's people that like don't like this movie or say it doesn't hold up. And I'm like, these two together is you just wish you had more of this comedy because the dynamic is so good.
It's so underrated.
And it's such a different role for Dan Aykroyd, right? For what we're used to, right? The Blues Brothers is one thing, Ghostbusters is another. But in this movie, he's the asshole that gives you like he's giving off American Psycho vibes, like Patrick Bateman vibes, like with just like how he's so fucking hell-bent on like status.
If you watch Ghostbusters, then you watch this, then you watch, say, My Girl, you're like, holy shit. Why didn't Dan Aykroyd ever get an Oscar? Or unless he did, and I don't know it, but I'm pretty sure he has never had one.
I think he got nominated for Driving Miss Daisy, and I think that was as close as he ever came.
Oh, that makes sense.
So, I mean, he's got the talent. It's just
he's got the tools. He's got the talent.
You just don't always think of some of these hilarious people doing like great roles or like how dynamic they can truly be.
Yeah. So they go to the hot dogs, right?
Mhm.
Cooking hot dogs, and you know what hot dogs are made of, right? Lips and assholes.
Yeah, you know what the gourmet over here wanted, right? I guess I'm an asshole.
Yeah.
You like assholes.
He feeds him the thing, and it's one of those quotes we always say, wow, hot. Just the way he says it because he has food in his mouth. It's just one of those things. Stands out.
Burns himself on the lobster. Yeah.
He says something about loving lips and then tries to fucking kiss his wife and shit.
No, he kisses his sister, like, because doesn't he kiss his sister
wife's sister?
Or is it the two women are sisters? I thought that was
I'm pretty sure it's them, because otherwise he wouldn't be hitting on her the whole movie and want to kiss her like that.
I don't know. I thought he's just a fucking freak. So
no, I'm pretty sure they're sisters. This is interesting. We're developing theories about Great Outdoors, but I'm pretty sure they're sisters. In Justin's world, Roman Craig is like a real creep.
Mm-hmm.
No redeeming factors there.
No.
I do like how they laugh at he carries the food inside, and they're all laughing, and he holds up the spatula like he's
yeah,
fucking kill him.
So good. And then you think of this, right? And you think John Candy in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, like, is kind of a very timid man, but a very kind man. And like in this, he still has that same lovable personality, but he's like just a little bit more, self-defending and self-deprecating at the same time. Like, he's
this is
kind of getting from him. It's so good.
He's great in this. They're eating dinner, and they're talking about the pontoon boat.
Mm-hmm. What are you gonna do in a pontoon boat?
Retake Omaha Beach.
Fucking no one knows it when I quote that movie. Anytime they talk about a pontoon boat, like anyone's like, "Hey, there's a bunch of lakes around here by us, so everyone wants to run a pontoon boat." What are you gonna do in that? Retake Omaha Beach. Jet boat.
Sorry, Dad. Yeah, that whole bit's funny.
Yeah,
it's funnier when you're a kid. That's one of those ones that's kind of, it doesn't have to be super clever to be funny. It's just like the kids are like way more into a jet boat, and he's into a pontoon boat because that's his childhood memory. And he told you that earlier. Basically, that's what he's on this trip for, is like his childhood memories, trying to give those to his kids. So he's upset, like, basically that he can't do that exactly the way he wants to. They'll still have the memory if they're on the boat, though. So I think he ends up, he's just like, whatever, we're gonna have a good time with this.
Yeah. The whole boating scene alone is fucking fire.
Before they do the boat is the bear story, though.
Oh yeah.
I love how that scene starts where they're all just hanging out in the living room and talking, and he's walking around slowly, turning the lights off and shit in the background.
Yeah, it's so, the framing on that is beautiful, isn't it? It's
he's
good.
just like, keep it another steps. I fucking love it. This is a true story, and it could save your life. That fucking bit is so good.
Great sharp claws, kind of like Freddy Krueger.
Terrible noise. I love that fucking roar because they put a bear growl over it.
Yes, it's like blend. It's so asinine.
They need to have that as a sound clip. And the fangs were stained pink from what it killed before it got to us. It was frightening. I love that too.
And then the best part is when he's finishing the story and he speeds up his speech and then just fucking throws his drink in the fire because it's an alcohol, so whatever, it's a strong drink, and just tosses it in there and it flames up.
Right. Well, it's like this story was one of those things as a kid too, that watching this movie, like, it was sort of frightening and it was exciting. It was like, ooh, I love this scene. This is great. And it always got you going just a little bit, just enough that you could relate to the people in the scene.
Dude, even as a kid, my Nightmare on Elm Street trauma bothered me enough. Just hearing Freddy Krueger mentioned there would always be like, fuck, that just always scared me just because I was going into that immediately. I was like, oh,
yeah,
that's a mean motherfucking bear.
No, I saw that bear and he saw me. He was hungry for blood.
He's like, your dad. He's like, no, Benny.
Yeah. Oh, that's where, yeah, as soon as he does that, I'm 25 pounds overweight. I don't need it. What does he say? Something like that to the ticker.
Yeah, blow like that to the ticker. He's like, I can feel my plaque flowing.
Exactly. Felt my plaque start flowing. Come on, it was a story.
So I embellished a little bit. I made the bear's claws a little bit big.
Yeah.
And then Roman going up and like listening. I love it. It's like he's trying to figure out how to be a dad to his girl.
Yes, I wrote down a lot of this too.
And he's dropping on the other conversation. He's like, look, it's just a story, you know, like it's something my dad told me, and I'm telling, you know, like that whole vibe again, that nostalgia vibe. It's a campfire story, right? It's beautiful. And then he goes in and fucking terrifies his daughters.
Well, yeah. See, he walks in there, and the first thing he opens the door and says, "Good evening. How you doing?"
Yeah.
He like walks in there and what does it say? Oh, yeah, exactly. His speech about, he says, I don't want to set story to scare you. I know how a story like that from a validated
family member. Yeah.
He says validated of the validity of the tale recognized from a recognized authority figure can be frightening.
Yeah.
And he tells a story about his uncle. You know, my uncle used to tell me, or what is it, his dad? I don't even know.
Oh yeah, about
a group of escaped army psychiatric patients who escaped from hellish torture or whatever. And he says they escaped from the metal boxes the army kept them in.
Yes.
And there was a family in the woods, I think is the first thing he mentions. I'm doing this all out of order. It's like, there's a family in the woods, the army's patients and shit. And he says the patients escaped, found the family, fell upon them, slaughtered and ate them. And this gave me nightmares for weeks.
And essentially, he just told them a second scary story.
Yeah, and it's worse than the first one.
Oh, way worse than a bear. Yeah. And I love how you finish that out because, like, you see everyone else kind of like sleeping and waking up, and the next morning you see the girls still there in bed, wide-eyed, like they hadn't moved or slept. Yeah. Oh, it's amazing. Just great storytelling.
I love it when he finishes the story. He says that whatever I just said, fell upon them, slaughtered and ate them. And that gave me nightmares for a week. And I don't want Uncle Chet's bear story to do the same thing for you. So no more thinking about bears. Think about soft things, cuddly things.
The way his speech pattern is there almost kind of reminds me of Barack Obama because he's, like very specific with his pattern, like has like specific starting and stopping on there.
Yeah.
It's great. I love it.
It's one of the best scenes of the movie, and it's so underrated because as a kid, I never really comprehended what he was saying there.
Yeah.
Until I was like maybe 13 or 14 and watched it and was like, holy shit.
Yeah, you just told him a fucking mortifying story, but.
And then you get the ba 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 boom deep deep.
The raccoons.
Raccoons. They get a call back to the lips and assholes.
Mm-hmm. I love how that's an ongoing theme throughout this movie. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
There's just so much amazing stuff in this.
I like the next morning or whatever, he's standing there and the twin girls are watching him scratch his ass and stuff in the mirror.
Honey, why is it that Chet's kid look at him like he's Zeus and my kids look at me like I'm a rack of yard tools at Sears? As he's scratching his ass.
Yes, that was yeah. And that whole bit because he gets hung up on basically by the fucking minister, and he says, why would a minister hang up on me? I went to his church. Oh yeah, once.
Oh, but I love it when he finally gets someone to answer. He's like, put a can in it, honey. You're doing business. He's just such an asshole to everybody.
Yeah. Then they get the jet boat.
Yes.
And one of the best parts of that is I never understood as a kid, or even till pretty recently, that the boat was named Suck My Wake.
Yeah.
So that's why he says later, we'll give him a ride and suck my wake.
Yeah, that's the boat. Yeah, that's amazing. When I love how they're taking it off the trailer, dumping it in the water, right? And if you've ever done that, we had a boat as a kid. So I remember going down and doing that whole process a bunch. And then you see him fucking put it in the wrong gear and fucking just runs the thing right out of the water.
Yep.
And they're already laughing at him for it. Like, oh God, fucking, it's like the city slicker vibe. They're like, oh God, what's this idiot doing?
Yep. Not unlike Weekend at Bernie's when they were fucking shit up with Bernie in the back, and somebody was like, "That is illegal, sir. What you're doing is illegal." But yeah, then he gets his ass dragged around on the lake, which is another one of those segments that's like, yeah, this was funny when you're a kid. Less funny as an adult, but still good because it's John Candy. And I was actually like, I wonder how they shot some of this, because it looks like he's really fucking water skiing. I mean, it's clearly some shots it's a stuntman, but when you see his face, you're like, I wonder if he's just on a boat and they're filming kind of up. That's what I have to think, is they shot it on like a jet boat with fucking just shooting him up.
Water. Yeah, they could have done that too. Yeah, that would have worked.
That's what it looked like to me, but I don't know. And then he's pissed and he's trying to leave,
Yeah. That's the other thing. Like, that's like that romance that they have, like, as a couple. It works so well. He's like, ready to pack up and leave. And she's kind of just teasing him and fucking with him and like giving him hell. And, then she really touches his heart. He's like, why do you always do that? I was ready to leave.
I'm waiting for his heads to turn around and vomit pea soup. I mean, our kids.
Our kids already do that.
That's a good one.
Yes.
And now I have to spend a week with Roman.
Yeah, that's great.
I love that shit. That scene's good. And then it's funny now, but because it doesn't bother me, but the whole goat cheese pizza thing.
Oh, yeah.
Big man pizza. Sir, are we having goat pizza? Is there a goat in there? Oh, Mr. Tompkins' birthday party.
Yeah.
There you go. That's a good one. I love this scene too. Again, didn't really realize what was happening as a kid too much.
Yeah.
But
not a jungle gym.
What kind of guy wouldn't like a little girl to give him a kiss? A dead one.
A dead one.
Yeah. I like how the camera turns, that he's snapping a picture and you have the view of the lens. That's just good editing and filmmaking right there. Good directing.
Very simple but effective, right? It's just like an easy thing. Like, yeah, they could have not done that, but it works so well.
How could you do that? You're sick. I didn't do it. He did it.
Yeah.
And you get the classic bear scene.
Mm-hmm.
Which, oh man, I should have gotten my Zagnuts out for this. Been like, Zagnut, got a nice Zagnut for you. They're in the box with the letters for the old sign.
Yeah, I think. Oh.
Got a nice Zagnut for you.
Nice Zagnut for you.
Oh, that's always fucking great. And the bears, just the music there too, like the slow sort of like jammy blues going on. It's like sort of silly sounding. It fucking works.
Hey, what's the bear dome situation like? Oh, it's great. Yeah. Feeds the bears, and then they just start driving off with the bear on the fucking.
Yeah, the bear climbs on his car and he's just like, ooh, watch the paint job.
Should have brought Roman's car.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, I'm getting kind of tired. Aren't you tired? And then the twins are sleeping in the back seat of the car, which you don't even notice.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, the old 96er happens next, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the next things. And
which we haven't even touched subplot for the kids, but obviously the teenage love interest and that little love story going on. It's John Hughes. So this is actually one of the few movies where he kind of combines both of his storytelling styles, right? With at least as far as his stories go, because he's got the young kind of coming of age story also mixed with the other piece.
I need to get that piece of music that always plays when it's Bucky and Candy.
Yeah, well, you just need to fucking learn that lick on guitar,
right?
Put so much verb on it and fucking chorus.
Fucking hilarious. Yeah. I never really obviously cared much for that plot line. That's probably one of those things you could have done without, but it doesn't necessarily add or take away anything. So
it is kind of, it just gives a little bit more broad appeal to like younger viewers or whatever in that kind of age. Right? I will say though, it does kind of make things interesting, especially at the old 96er dinner, because like he's checking his watch because he's going to be late for the date, and so that's why he's like, kind of a good dinner.
The music during that, that might even be a Yellow song. It sounds like it would be. You know who Yellow is? The band that did the oh yeah,
Oh, nice.
Ferris Bueller. I think it might be that band.
You're spot on with that fucking, like anyone that just hears that is gonna be like, God damn, is that the real thing? No, that's just talent.
Exactly. No, I have that song on a couple playlists. I like that. That band's very interesting to me, and that piece of music is very interesting to me. So I'm pretty sure it might be the same band because it has that same vibe to it.
Yeah.
Go listen to it after this because I'm pretty sure.
For sure. It's probably, if you go pull the credits, I'm sure it's on there.
I'm going to look that up.
That whole old 96, right, is terrifying. Like the way the waitress described it. She's like, oh, do you guys want to split that? Huh? And he's like, yeah, what the? And then, what the hell? I'll try it.
Right.
And then it's like,
yeah, go for it. Yeah, that's a horrifying scene to watch.
Yeah, like that makes me sick to my stomach watching it. So gross.
Right.
He's almost done. He's like, no. He's like, only thing left is gristle and fat. And then like the look of fear in his face. He's like, you think if I can get a couple of slices of dessert down him, do you think I could get a free Paul Bunyan hat for the kids?
Right.
And then they all walk out with Paul Bunyan hats, which is beautiful because like you don't have to watch any more of that for it to work.
Yeah, he has a t-shirt and it's just draped over him, my love.
He's just got the meat sweats at that point. Like clearly
he's just like, ugh. Yeah, I can't imagine.
And then they fucking weave that raccoon story in so well. Like, oh, look at the size of maggots on that meat.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. Oh, is it where the bat happens in this part after they go to bed?
Yeah, shortly after this, yeah. Jesus Christ, it's been touching you for 12 years. You never said anything for, not you, Roman.
I love that.
That's
and then, yeah, I love how they kind of freak out at first, and then he's like, it's just a bat. And he walks in, and it flies right past his fucking head and hits him a little bit. And he instantly just like throws his hands up, turns around, and walks back out. It buzzed me.
Wow. It's like a 2-pounder.
Yeah. I love that. Then they go in their fucking silly outfits.
Yes, which I would love to cosplay as, but I don't know if anyone would fucking understand.
Yeah, that's a fucking problem.
We should just do a fucking photo shoot in that just for fun anyway, just for ourselves. I can be John Candy because I'm fat.
Pretty much.
He's fatter than Dan Aykroyd is there. Technically, I'm either one of them because I'm fat. But
yeah. I mean, it's all right.
Dessert.
Yeah, the bat scene's funny. They get it. It's fucked up how after it's like, we got it. We got it.
Yeah, that's the Ghostbusters line. We got it. That's exactly what I think. I want to hear that.
Oh, it's good. The whole ending sequence to give it a sort of like climax is all right. It's all right. Yeah. You spend the whole movie not giving a shit about those characters because they're only in like 3 seconds of the movie, basically.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it only makes sense because he's trying to connect as a dad. And
yeah.
Jesus Christ, Rowan, for once in your life, would you be a father to your kids? And like, that's when it really strikes, and you're like, okay, so this part does have a little more, but you don't have that emotional weight carrying up beforehand. That's my only real complaint. You don't care about these girls.
Yeah. Something I do like in the ending sequence is when they're all fighting.
Yes.
The first time, and they're all being dicks to each other and redirecting their anger.
Yeah.
Oh, go blow it out your ass.
And then if you ever watch that like on like cable TV or like what was censored, oh, go blow it out your kazoo. No one's blowing anything out of anyone's kazoo.
Right.
And like we all knew what it was because we'd seen the non-censored version before. So like we were all just like, I remember as kids, like I think we're all in the room, the whole family, and like just we were all saying, blow it out your ass, because we knew what the line really was, which is
right.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Why don't you go find yourself a spin cycle? Yeah, go find yourself a spin cycle. Hey, what does that mean?
Right.
Don't worry about it.
Oh man, that's sad and funny at the same time.
It's so real though. Like the topics they're addressing are like real life problems that people have, and they're like so fucking nonchalant about it. That's why it's so funny.
Right. Oh gosh. I do like you see the same bear in the end. That's funny. The bear scene with him pulling up the bear is fucking hysterical. And he thinks it's the little girls, and they fucking pull his head against the tree and shit. And he's like, "Oh, okay, you're ready. You're ready." Starts pulling him up and shit. gets chased by the bear. Big bear, chase me.
Big bear. Oh, you want a big sandwich? Big bear, chase me. Bam. And then the I love the music there. Like it fits so well. It's like so perfect for the climax there.
Yeah.
Like just that orchestral sound is so good. I love it.
Yeah, it's burned into my skull forever.
Yeah. Yeah, you just like see that door like in your mind and you hear it. And you're like, yeah, the door falls on the back of him. So amazing.
I have to look this up now. The soundtrack thing.
Who did the score?
No, the soundtrack.
Oh, okay. Well, go for it. So the other thing I love near the ending is just he's trying to help them out of as he's pulling the bear up, he's talking a lot of shit to Roman, like, yeah, you could help a little bit, that all goes through. And then they're surprised to see him when he comes back and they're all like fucking warm and relaxed again.
This is interesting to know. There's several songs performed by the Elwood Blues Review. For soundtrack. So all those blues, like the things like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think so. Let's see. I'm not seeing anything about Yellow yet, but I don't know.
It's definitely good stuff. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
As they're having this whole battle too, they also have, we can't forget about the lightning 66 times.
Oh, yeah.
Great dialogue in there. He's like, you'll have to excuse me. He thinks he knows everything. Well, he's a know-it-all, especially when he has a couple of drinks. He's like, is that a shot? That's a shot. Speaking of shots, set us up. And like, he's just, excuse me, let me go introduce Mr. Thick Dick to Mr. Urinal Cake.
Yeah.
Line is amazing because he's just such an asshole in there, and like you don't get to see Dan like be that kind of asshole all the time. So it's
we quote that when we have to pee all the time. So
yeah, it's a fucking perfect line. You get to quote Dan Aykroyd 66 times.
Well, I believe that about covers Great Outdoors. We went on for a pretty while, but we could probably go do a whole nother fucking episode on it if we wanted. So
I could talk through that. Actually, we'll probably do a commentary on that movie sometime because we love that one that much.
Oh yes, that's for sure.
So,
which we will be launching a Patreon probably this month or next. So keep your eyes open and your ears and your wallets.
Yeah, wallets especially. Don't worry, we're not expensive.
No, we're cheap.
We're cheap.
It's $2 to see it, $4 to touch it. That whole bit, but we're cheaper. Yeah, because it's not very big.
Right. I think we're gonna have to go with pitching a summer tent pole recasting.
Yes, I still don't have a theme song for this. We gotta come up with one, but
you fucking remedy this, but that's fine. So imagine a really cool theme song about pitching a summer tent pole.
Mm-hmm. With boner jokes in it, basically.
Exactly.
And so today we're doing the Twister. What?
I said, speaking of spin cycles.
Yeah. We're talking about the Twister reboot today that was announced like a year ago or something, a year and a half ago, but they're not necessarily going to do. But we're like, yeah, let's do a pitch a summer tent for a Twister reboot with a director, writer, score, any soundtrack ideas, and a cast. So see what you come up with.
Well,
you want to go first?
Well, it was your idea. Do you want to lead off? You want me
to? I'll hear yours first.
Okay. So my Twister 2022 reboot would be directed by Edgar Wright because he's got enough of the action ability there and just kind of offbeat enough to be able to handle this. There's some better choices if you're just going more action oriented, but I think he'd be able to handle the whole story. So Bill Harding would be portrayed by Jason Sudeikis. Somebody that's, not like obnoxiously handsome, but still kind of the leading man, can carry the role, can carry the comedy of everything else.
This is going to be a wacky fucking movie.
Yes, it is.
This is going to be like the fucking Vacation reboot so far.
Oh, you just listen up, buddy. It's fucking weird.
I mean, I love Edgar Wright, but I don't know if I want him directing Twister, but go on.
Oh, all right. Joe Harding would be played by Vera Farmington. She was actually played opposite of George Clooney in Up in the Air.
Oh, okay. She's a little old, but yeah.
She's only 2 years older than Sudeikis. So
How old is he now?
45.
Hmm.
Yep. And then Dr. Melissa Reeves would be portrayed by, I had Olivia Munn written down at first, but I changed my mind. Mary Beth Monroe is who I changed that to. So
we got to put up a poll after this and see which one people like better.
Yeah, exactly. A or B. And then for Dr. Jonas Miller, I said Max Greenfield. You may know him as Schmidt on the show New Girl. He's just kind of the snaky enough guy to kind of pull that off, I think. Dusty would be portrayed by Charlie Day. It's kind of someone that's like fucking weird and over the top. That's what I wanted there. And then Alan, I would have Jay Boucherel or Baruchel, however you say his name is. He's on good. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, Jay Baruchel.
Yeah, yep, that's him.
He's in a lot of Judd Apatow stuff. He was in what's that show that Judd Apatow did after Undeclared? That's it.
Mm-hmm. And then Tim, I didn't cast everybody, but Tim I said would be Ray Santiago, just because I want a more diverse cast, but just some people there that have good acting chops that could be in.
You didn't recast Rabbit, who has most of the lines out of those people?
No, I didn't actually.
That was the one other person other than Dusty I did.
Okay, and then Haynes, I said would be Kate McCusey. You know who that is?
Kate McCucci.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, she's a voice actor and actor in general. She's in a lot of stuff.
Yep, and then score, man, I just love Alan Silvestri stuff so much that's it's a real cheap and easy one, but he's still doing good work, and it's not always the same. So that's who I threw down for that. So.
Well,
and written, I would almost go by like a similar script initially. So, that's what I got. So, what would you bring to the table?
I like mine better, but I mean that's why it's my list, and that's why yours is yours list. I tried to stay true to the real emotion of the movie, and that's why writer and director for this movie for me is Catherine Bigelow.
Okay.
Writer and director of Near Dark and director of Point Break and The Hurt Locker. Score. My first idea was originally Hans Zimmer before I realized, maybe not. Maybe actually Trent Reznor.
That works really well for the Storm movie like that. I think that'd be really psychologically interesting.
And he has very interesting ways to make sounds that are going to be terrifying, like that sort of thing in Twister that goes,
Yeah.
Fucking love that.
That's a good shout out there. I like that one.
My cast, it's very interesting. I tried to diversify a little bit. So is Bill. We got somebody who can, I feel like, be a tough guy, be a real tough guy, be hot-headed that I've seen, but can also be charming and hilarious. Oscar Isaac.
Oh, okay. That's a good call. He could pull that off for sure.
And I wanted someone strong and young for the role of Joe, relatively young, around 30, 35, how old Joe was when the other one went. And Jessica Chastain. I don't know if their chemistry would be good, but she's great. I love her. Very similar and often gets confused actually for Bryce Dallas Howard. So,
yes.
Jonas. Yeah, I'm really proud of all these picks actually. Walton Goggins.
Fuck, that's good. Yeah, that's good.
Because Jonas in that movie almost does sound a little bit like Walton Goggins already.
Mm-hmm.
So if Walton Goggins just either tones it down a little bit or just fucking runs with it himself, I feel like he could be a real asshole, but also kind of being, he's trying to get information from Joe still. You could still see him doing that.
Yeah, you could see that. That's a good choice. All right.
Melissa, I wanted a girl who can portray someone smart and really strong, but can also kind of play the doofy person who's out of their element here. and is sort of more of a woman's woman as opposed to Joe. You know, she's more of a lipstick person.
Yeah.
Megan Fox.
That's a good shout. Yeah, with all your cast and age range there, yeah, that all works. Like clearly we went for way different age ranges, which is there's nothing wrong with, but
yeah. Well, I tried to go for mid-30s.
Yeah.
Because that's how pretty much old they were. I mean, Bill Paxton was closer to 40, I think, but either way. Dusty. I'm really proud of this one too. Danny McBride.
Yeah, I was thinking about having him in that crew there as I was like casting extras in there, but
I think he'd pull off a good Dusty. He's always kind of a little bit of an asshole, but if you take that asshole away from him and just let him be lighthearted Danny McBride, I think it'll really work too.
Yeah, he can show those moments through when he's real lighthearted, and yeah, I think that would work just for
him just hitting on Megan Fox and shit, dressing goofy.
Yeah, I
think that works.
It does.
The last person I cast was as Rabbit O'Shea Jackson, which is Ice Cube's son.
Oh, okay, nice.
It's a lot like him. Portrayed him in Straight Out of Compton. He's been in some other stuff too, but that is basically that. I thought about casting Aunt Meg, but I was like, eh.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's enough options for that, but she just didn't have enough screen time for me to say like, oh, is that like a must cast? Like I was thinking like,
yeah,
I feel like there's a lot of people that could do Aunt Meg and like really work well with the story.
Yeah, I did a little research, but I didn't come up with anything. I was like thinking this person would be good. So it's just like, what casting director can deal with that.
All right.
That's pitch a summer tent pole. I'm going to put who do you like better on our Instagram just for fun.
We're going to grade us. I fucking hate you both. That's fine. You can't hate me more than I hate myself.
I think we'll do that and we'll see who people like more, or not who people like more. Which of our choices they like more.
I think that's a Freudian slip there, buddy. That's okay.
That's good.
It's all right.
Good.
So we got another movie on the agenda.
We got another movie here. All right.
Another man's garbage.
Yeah.
Another man's garbage.
This is one of my favorite directors, but I've surprisingly not seen a lot of his movies before Gremlins. I'm talking Joe Dante. And have you ever seen The Howling?
It's been a long time, but I'm pretty sure I've seen that one. Yes.
I have never seen it. I am going to purchase it at some point.
Well,
Review it. It's a Joe Dante werewolf movie. So, but either way, we're covering Piranha today from 1978.
Yep. So the movie Jaws changed the film landscape forever, and this whole subgenre of like animal horror, water terror on the water basically became a
Say animal horror or animal horror.
Horror, not horror. Horror.
Animal
like,
horror.
Yeah, that's a whole other category that's illegal. So
we do donkey shows on our OnlyFans.
I'm not on that one.
Maybe you're in the donkey costume.
You sick son of a bitch.
I took a boob count for this movie.
Okay.
Because there's that many titties in this movie.
It's the 70s and 80s, man. They were just boobs galore. They weren't as scared of the nipple as they are now, which is interesting, right? Because like part of you's like, yeah, I don't mind gratuitous nudity, but at the same time, you're like, well, I mean, it is kind of outdated, but at the same time, like, is it empowering to whoever's ever doing it? Because if that's the case, cool. If not, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, well, it's like an Evil Dead. That woman who was raped by the tree, she was very uncomfortable with that. So that just goes to show you what you're talking about. It can be true. But there are a total of, I believe, 8 breasts in this movie. Not 8 sets, mind you, but 8 breasts, 4 sets. And there's some in the first 5 minutes. I took a note. First 5 minutes, boobs.
Yep, they get right to it.
The hikers going into basically like this government area. This little government fucking fences up in the woods. They find where all this big fucking nasty looking pool, and unbeknownst to them, it's filled with piranha.
Mm-hmm.
So David is fucking eaten, murdered. And then so is Barbara. The first two people we met. And it's fucking cheesy, and the camera angles are very interesting when the piranha are attacking. The only thing is about this movie, I feel like the piranha should have like really obliterated people. Like there should have been a lot more like skeletons floating up to the surface and shit like that, where like they've eaten them clean. Because I feel like that's more of the piranha myth for people. So that like every time the piranhas are attacking, it's like sometimes it takes people 5 seconds to die. Sometimes it takes them 20 minutes and they're still fine.
Yeah, they don't really define like a school of piranha like eating somebody, right? You know, sometimes it's like little nibbles and you're like, what's that? And then sometimes it's like sheer carnage.
You catch that Jaws arcade game?
Yes, that was awesome. I like the touches they had in the background.
Yeah.
You know what? You know what the thing about this movie though that really bothers me?
What's that?
Was one of my favorite parts, which for Joe Dante, like I hope this inspired Gremlins, is the little magic piranha that's walking outside of the water on his hind legs. They never explain what happens to him.
Oh yeah. I didn't understand that at all.
Yeah, it was one of my favorite things. I was like, oh my God, like this could be an amazing creature feature. And then that doesn't go anywhere. And it's super disappointing because I love the creature design for that.
Yeah.
And I love how it's kind of sneaking around and you're like, wait, what happens there? And how does the guy not know about it? It almost seems like that would have been that scientist's friend or like something like working with.
Yeah, I still don't get that. I don't know. That's weird. Because I saw it and was like, what the fuck am I watching for a second? I thought this was about piranha.
Yeah, so
with all the body parts and sea life in jars and shit. It's pretty creepy.
Yeah, I like the vibes of that. That was really cool because that really gave you the government. You know, and zombie movies were kind of getting big again around this time, right? So if you're looking at 78 and you're thinking, okay, maybe Dawn of the Dead and those types of things, there's some good vibes that kind of carry over from society that work well with like the government fucking around with stuff. So that was fun.
Huh?
The writing on this is just so terrible in moments, right? Because like, so Brad Dillman plays Paul Grogan, and he just is like up living in the cabins. He's an alcoholic, kind of an asshole, right? And you see him getting his booze delivered. And then Heather Menzies comes up as Maggie and is just like, hey, you're going to help me find these kids. And he's like, the fuck I am. And then somehow he gets fucking roped into it. Like
she pays him.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or agrees to pay him.
Yeah. They figure something out in the background they don't ever explain on screen. And I don't know, that just gave me the wrong vibe there, that whole bit. Like, I just wish they would have explained that because I'm like, did she like barter for that or what? Right? You know, just didn't. I don't know.
To me, it seemed like she was hiring him.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can put that much together for myself. I was all right. I mean, it's not a great movie by any means, but I was just like, you know, little things like that didn't stick out to me. It's just like, yeah, that is one of the reasons that makes it shitty for sure. But I like to point out that the one guy is wearing a floral shirt, the other guy's wearing a flannel, and like you said, there's all that fucking booze delivered and shit. That's hilarious.
The dog comes by up there like on the porch, like that's kind of neat. Like that's a decent little setup for the character intro. I didn't mind that, but
yeah. Oh, let's jump ahead to the
Dick Miller.
No, not that far. To them releasing the piranha. So the crazy dude is trying to stop them in the lab or whatever. The guy who works for the government, clearly.
Yeah,
he's in charge of the fucking fish.
Yeah, and that's Kevin McCarthy. It's playing Dr. Robert.
Yeah, I didn't write anybody's names down. I was like, fuck it, not this one. I'm not going to bother learning their names. If I heard their name while I was writing notes, I wrote it, but that's it.
Dr. Robert Hoke.
So, yeah, Dr. Robert Bope.
Oh, yeah.
I know I said it wrong on purpose. Like, I don't give a shit. No, so he's trying to stop them from releasing the piranha, but he's not telling them this. He's just kind of fighting them for no reason. And then they accidentally release the piranha. So that's fun.
Yeah. Again, that's another part of this story that's just like, why is this guy? And you're like, oh, he's just fucking trash.
You keep dinging me.
I'm not. I think, well, let me kill this other page. Sorry, I closed another browser window.
There you go. People are going to be like, what is this? No, Justin's just, trying to order some ice cream online while we record.
No, that was the Facebook page alerting me that someone was typing in the Midland Empire group chat. I had the page open to launch into our Zoom meeting here. So.
Well, it goes over to the kids like summer camp, which anything in this time period gives you like both meatballs and like Friday the 13th vibes.
So yeah, and I like this one's kind of like a good mix, right? Because it's not like they don't take the summer camp part too serious, which I think works.
Yeah, it's not like the whole plot.
No,
and part of it, which is good.
And then you find out that it's Paul Grogan's daughter that's basically down at this thing, and which is why he's so concerned. So
yeah, the kid is out on the water with his dad in a boat, and fucking attacked by piranhas. The dad goes under. The kid managed to stay on top of the boat when it flips over.
Yeah.
And then they're all like, they're on a fucking like, it reminds me of in Jurassic Park when he's floating down the river and they're pulling it by the rope at the very beginning, the lawyer.
Yeah.
Gennaro. And
yeah, just some logs tied together. And then eventually the guy bleeds out because they try to rescue the dad. And so then the piranha start chewing through the rope on there. And you're like,
well, yeah, he jumps first. The guy jumps into the water to try to save the kid and is fucking getting eaten by him.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, you clearly, the kid's fine. You could have just waited till you got over there and got him and you wouldn't be dead, but he just must have wanted to die really bad. So there you go.
Yeah, for sure.
And let's see. The sounds and visuals when they're underwater are pretty interesting.
Yeah, the sounds of the piranhas attacking is, I didn't necessarily like that, but it's unsettling enough that it works.
It's
just
low budget as fuck. Yeah, it's like a weird synthesizer sound or something.
Yeah, it almost sounds like that, and like a small engine or something mixed together, kind of. So like they may synthesize a small engine sound or something. So you're like, whatever. But there's a good supporting cast in there, right? You know, you get to deal with you get to see the fuckery going on with the local sheriff's department helping the government by fucking playing cool, holding people that they shouldn't be holding because they know there's legit concerns, and yet it's all like that whole like government's incompetent, and this is why it's getting worse.
Yeah, they get held by the government in that tent or whatever, and it's funny how they get out. She's like, he's like, you go out there and distract him, and I'm gonna go away. And she's like, well, what about me? And he's like, I don't know, you stay here. And she's like, what the fuck? I want to escape too. And he's like, all right, well, that's up to you, but you need to distract him for me because fuck you. And then she's like, well, he's like, how do I distract him? And he's like, well, come on to him. I don't know. And she's like, well, what if he's gay? And he's like, then I'll distract him. And then she goes out there and is like, the first thing she says to him is, are you gay? And he's just like, what? And then she tries to distract him, points up and says, what's that? And then when he looks up, she pulls out her tits. And, what do you know? It sort of worked, but they had to knock him out anyway, I think. So.
Yeah, like to me, that was just one of those, like they could have done without that one. Like it was like, yeah, whatever. I mean, it's just showing the main cast. Like that's seemed like a shitty way to try to like force your main.
I don't even know if those were her tits because
they
cut completely differently, and it was only from the neck down. So it could have been somebody else's because she didn't want to. You never know.
Yeah.
The toilet knockout is funny.
Yeah, that's a good one.
The children getting massacred by piranha and not dying. Like a lot more of those children should have been just fucking demolished. But whatever, it's a movie. I get it. You can't just like be killing too many fucking children like that. But
well, that whole climactic scene of like everyone getting eaten up outside of there and everything.
Yeah, the fucking chaos, the poison.
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't work as well for me just because it's so shittily executed, right? You know, you're like, all these kids, like, yeah, okay, the piranha could eat the whole, but now they're eating everybody. So it's like, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's a cheesy movie.
I like it for its cheese. I wasn't expecting anything but what this movie gave me. If anything, I was expecting, like I said, a little bit more of like skeletons floating to the top and people dying quicker and more, but it had enough of that. Yeah, like this is a perfect drive-in movie. So
here's an interesting tidbit. So apparently, Universal Studios almost tried to have an injunction put against this movie, considering they were both going to theater around the time Jaws 2 was coming out.
yeah, but it didn't work because
Spielberg was like, no, don't, because he obviously knew that, you're making a Jaws sequel, so who gives a fuck if someone's gonna have some killer piranhas on there? They wouldn't have won that anyway.
Right. No, there's no way.
There's too much. Like, you're on land, you're hiking. It's completely
it's not derivative of it at all, other than the fact that the colors kind of look like it. Maybe the poster kind of looks like it. I get that. The marketing does, but the movie itself, other than the fact that there's aquatic murdering, it's really not that much like Jaws. The plot is completely different. So good on them for trying something different while also ripping something off.
I will say the 3D remake of this that came out way later, I think, is just a much more entertaining film.
Yeah, I did pick that up, so I'm gonna watch that as well. There is a remake that came out in '95 as well. Haven't seen that one. There's a couple different sequels in the very different continuities or whatever timelines. I don't know, whatever. Either way, it's fascinating. If you're into these type of movies, check it out. If you're not,
yeah, this is kind of like
our recap was enough for you.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's fun in a creature feature because usually you're getting like one large monstrous creature. So here's like a school of things. So it's terrifying in its own right, but you never actually see like the piranha to be really scary.
Yeah, that's what's so funny. It's like, man, Joe Dante sure likes a bunch of monsters.
Yes,
the little monsters like piranha, gremlins, obviously gremlins too, small soldiers.
I'm glad he got this movie out of the way before he made Gremlins, because I think it really helped him know what not to do.
He made The Howling in between then too, I think.
Yeah, so no, he's
a
long ways a filmmaker. So
Dick Miller in there, he's almost gives me Mayor vibes from Jaws, I guess, with his clothes and stuff. He is also in Gremlins 2, and Small Soldiers.
Yep, frequent collaborators there. So
I guess we'll move on to our Twin Peaks episode by episode.
Oh,
and a long one for you guys. Long schlong of an episode. Long ding dong. Somebody said they listened to our episode with, was it Craig? In the car with their kids, and I was like, hope we didn't say anything too bad.
Oh no, what I read was somebody said they're on their way to pick up the kids.
Oh, that's better. That's better.
Yeah,
maybe I misread it then. Yeah.
No, I'm not judging anybody for that. I mean, we speak.
Oh no, I'm not. I hope I just don't want to traumatize anybody's kids. So
yeah, no.
Listen to this. Please listen to it away from your kids. I mean, if we have a guest on, especially if it's,
if you've heard a guest episode, we try to contain ourselves.
Well, especially our bonus guest episodes, not our episode. Like if we have Nathan Redger on, chances are we're going to be still just as foul, if not worse. But
yes.
If we're talking with Craig, I think we were still a little bit worse than normal because we know what we can get away with depending on our guests. And obviously we were a lot more uptight when we had the cross rip on. But even then, somebody was like, I really love this episode. I just didn't like when you made fun of God or something because I'm a Christian, but I'm still subscribing and love you guys. And I'm like, yeah, I appreciate that. We don't go out of our way to hate on anything. We just, we're not afraid of being ourselves either.
Exactly. And if you don't like that part, we have no ill will towards anybody for their beliefs on shit. So
nope.
Doing you, we'll do us.
As long as you're not trying to oppress people with those beliefs.
Exactly. As long as you're having fun along the way, that's what we're here for.
Speaking of fun.
We now return to the real Ghostbusters.
Diane, 11:30 a.m., February 24th. Entered the town of Twin Peaks.
Pretty good.
Bill Murray's the funniest man on the planet.
Episode by episode.
Twin Peaks Season 2, Episode 12, The Black Widow. Which, I actually know what it refers to, I guess. But
Well, I don't really yet after this episode, but I'm assuming we'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there. Anyway, opens up with Bobby showing up to Ben's office.
Yep, and Jerry Horn is clearly fucked up there, man. He is like so fucking strung about
Mm-hmm.
and just kind of being weird. And he's like, "What the fuck do you want?" He's like, "Well, whatever. I'll fucking listen to anybody at this point because shit ain't going the way I wanted it to." He's fucking like just like carefree at this point.
Are you talking about Ben?
Yeah.
You said Jerry, so I was like, wait.
No, I meant Ben. Yeah, that's who he's talking
to. Yeah.
Bobby comes in.
Ben is stacking everything in his office when he comes in there, and he's just like acting sort of weird, but he's still there. Because then Bobby's like, because he had that tape on him. So Bobby's like trying to blackmail him, but he's also like realizing, maybe I should learn some shit from this guy.
Yeah.
So he has Bobby like, he hands him a camera and tells him to follow Hank Jennings around and show me something I don't know. So you're like, oh, how that's going to go. He briefly talks to Audrey, I think, in the hall then too. And Cooper is looking at real estate in Twin Peaks. He's still suspended from the FBI.
Yep. That's pretty cool to see that bit going on.
Yeah. The lady shows him, this is a location. Oh, wow. What's that called? Or, what is that one? She's like, oh, that's called the Dead Dog Farm. And he's like, when can I see it?
Yeah, that's is that the only time she's on this show? Is this episode?
I think so.
Okay, yeah. I mean, she did a good role. I enjoyed her character on there, and I loved how she, another diverse character in the show, just kind of up there doing that because you're like, yeah, what's he doing up here with all this? And then he just, he feels comfortable there, fits in, likes
it. So the mayor's dead.
Yep, heart attack.
Oh, which is funny because then earlier in the Great Northern, when the Bobby scene is happening, you see Luna running around screaming.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because he was dead. But it's funny because there's a bunch of like weird sex toys and Kama Sutra books and shit in there. I like how Andy put one of the masks on. Hey, look.
Yeah, they try to imply that like they're having sex or like kinky sex, and that's what gave them their heart attack. But
which is totally realistic and actually happens all the time.
Yeah, it does. Yep. Yeah. So yeah, that was kind of fun.
The
in the wrestling team is fucking amazing.
Yeah, exactly. I love that. I want to get a Twin Peaks Phys Ed shirt.
Mike is so fucking scared of her.
Yes. I also love the students wearing the shirts that just say TP on them.
Oh, yeah. Those are hilarious. And Mike asked Don for help. He's like, hey, how do you help me with this? And she's like, why don't you just, have fun with an older woman?
Yeah.
He's like, I don't want to date anyone that can body slam me. Crazy. And even the coaches, everyone, like the crazy thing about this is that everyone just like cool with like letting Nadine be like fucking freak.
Yeah.
Like no one's like, oh, what the hell is this? Everyone just like, yeah, oh, okay, we're gonna give it a shot. We'll give it a go. And nowadays you're like, God damn, that's terrifying if anyone allowed that to happen.
Then you go over to James and Evelyn.
Yep.
And Malcolm, her brother.
Yeah, he comes in as kind of a weird character. Like, who's this guy?
I know who he is, but he is the driver for her husband and her brother. And he kind of talks shit on him and reveals that he kind of beats her and shit, and he's an asshole.
Yeah.
And that's why she wrecks his cars and shits to get back at him.
Okay. That makes sense.
And then we jump over to Cooper at the Dead Dog Farm with the real estate agent. And he's like noticing the tire tracks. 4-wheel drive van loaded from the rear. That's what it reminded me of. But he's like, a luxury sedan and whatever else he says. They go inside and he's like, there was a meeting here. Finds the ashtray and then baby laxative in the sink. It's what he can taste at least. But it's definitely some cocaine.
Yeah, it's the cocaine that's been cut, right? So they're basically figuring it all out.
Yeah. This old 50s like Formica table. Or however you say that word. I don't know what it's made out of. That's what it's made out of or whatever. But it's that old 50s style table there. No, I had a note here that I should have said at the beginning, but directed by Caleb Deschanel.
Oh, yep.
If you recognize the Deschanel name.
Yeah, he's done several episodes he's directed, right? Especially in season 2.
Mm-hmm. He's the father of the Deschanels. Zoe Deschanel and what's the other one? She's on Bones that everybody likes, and I hate that show, but
I always forget her. Just
she's married to Rickety Cricket from It's Always Sunny, that Deschanel.
Yeah.
And their mother's also in the show as Donna's mom.
Yep.
So the Briggs investigation is brought up.
Colonel Riley comes in, and he's kind of cool. I liked his character, right? He's basically asking Dale stuff and about the owl. So he clearly knows some shit that everyone else is like not aware of yet, but he's in the end. So like,
yeah, he reveals that the message that he was Briggs was talking about, it wasn't actually from space. It was from the nearby woods.
Yeah. So like, that's a big piece right there, showing that like the government has a significant level of knowledge on this, but it's all very classified.
Yeah.
And obviously Major Briggs is such a fucking great character in the show. It's like, okay, to see someone come in there and try to fill those shoes while they're looking for him, I'm like, yeah, I don't know if I like that, but Colonel Riley did fine. I think he kind of portrays that straight-lacedness enough with it, but I'd still much rather have Major Briggs there. So
yeah,
that's just me.
Well, James kisses Evelyn while they're talking in the car. So that happens.
Yeehaw.
That whole James Evelyn subplot is my least favorite thing in Twin Peaks, by the way, but we just got to bring it through to get the story out there. So,
and it doesn't even feel like filler. It just feels like someone is like writing another show and it's like fucking interweaved it in here. Cause like, hey, we still got this guy under contract. And you're like, you don't fucking need him. Sorry. Just don't.
You could have just had him stick around Twin Peaks and brought him in when you needed him. But either way, Cooper he prints his chest response in the personal section to Wyndham Merle. Then he's holding his patch during that scene. Did you notice that?
Oh, he is. Yeah.
He's messing around with it, which is pretty cool.
Considering we have those now.
Yes. And oh yeah, Audrey visits him and is talking to him for a minute before Denise comes in. And then Audrey kisses Cooper and walks out. And Denise is like, "Excuse me, how old is that girl?" After, they talk about the case information, the cocaine and shit. And then she's like, "How old is that girl?" And he's like, "Don't worry about it. I thought you weren't interested in women anymore." And Denise is just like, Coop, I put my panties on one leg at a time, just like everyone else. You know what I mean? And Cooper's like, no, not really. But that's just funny, that little bit there. I love seeing Denise. I love Denise's character. So
yeah, it's such a good role, right? I mean,
for the time too, because they don't even bring attention to it very often. And when they do, it's like he's just curious and he's very respectful about it. So it's like dope. Cooper is a man.
Well, yeah, and if you like the X-Files, right? Seeing David Duchovny like play this character without, you don't even think twice about him doing it. You're just like, okay, that's who that individual is, and it's crazy.
This is before X-Files even existed, so
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like, everyone knows that. So if you're going back and watching this now, like, I didn't obviously watch this when it aired. So you see that, you have an appreciation for that, because when you can see someone do a role that you wouldn't expect them to do, it's pretty awesome, especially when everyone just seems so comfortable with allowing someone to be themselves. That's so ahead of its time. So I think that's really why that character works for me.
Norma and Ed are talking at the diner. They eventually hold hands for a moment, and Hank sees this. So that's pretty fucked up. Hank is Norma's husband, but he's an asshole, and she's been fucking Ed for a while. They were high school sweethearts. Dwayne wants to press charges, which is just whatever for his brother's death. And that whole Luna scene, I don't get why they're all transfixed by Luna. Like, whatever, just another chick there, but she likes banging old dudes, so whatever.
Yeah, some of that shit is just like filler. It's just like the
Yeah, that's why I'm just kind of briefly mentioning it so we can go over it. So, like, if there's anything you want to talk about, you can feel free to jump in. But Ernie's eating wings at the diner. Denise shows up and is like, "Here's these pictures, bitch. Here's my badge, bitch." Then they get a confession out of him, and James is listening to the shouting at Evelyn's house. Malcolm talks about how he wants to kill Jeffrey.
Yeah, there's a lot of shit packed in this episode, man.
I know. I'm still going with notes.
And we're not even to the fucking mind-blowing part yet.
Well, here's the conclusion is that Betty is sitting in the dark waiting for Bobby to get home. He comes in and the whole room is lit by, if you noticed, a ceramic owl lamp and lightning.
I didn't know if I caught that piece.
So that's pretty cool. Yeah. Bobby comes in and is like, it's all right. He's going to be back. He's going to be back. And then he tells her about one of my favorite scenes from Twin Peaks is the Major's dream that he told Bobby about at the diner a few weeks ago.
Oh, yes.
And right as he's saying this, the lightning kind of flashes and the power goes out, and then the Major appears in the room.
Yeah.
Wearing some fucking old-timey aviator clothes.
Not what you were expecting, for sure. Very fucking cool nonetheless.
And then he asked for a strong cocktail.
Yeah, like that's a fucking... They know how to end some episodes on here, right? They may have some bullshit going on in there, but like when you stick to the main plot points of the show, fucking fire.
Still probably my favorite show in existence of a serious like drama type show that I've ever seen. So
yeah, well, and it's not so overly drawn out that you can't go back and revisit it and like take something out new from it every time. So
I guess on our way out here, if you're listening to this on the audio feed, head over to our YouTube. You can see our pretty faces while you listen, unless you just like to listen to the audio, in which case you still head over to our YouTube at youtube.com/thefrogbros, because we have a bunch of exclusive content on there that you don't hear on the audio feed. Toy reviews, extra movie reviews, location tours, road trips, toys, all sorts of fun stuff, music videos. So check that out. Should tell them about our Etsy and stuff again one more time on our way out here.
Yep. So I have launched the Etsy. Right now we've got 3 different sticker types available there. And the awesome part about that is some of those stickers, the Hall Road, going to be available for sale. We're going to give portions of the proceeds to Children's Mercy Hospital, Kansas City for that. And the t-shirt shop is launching, so expect to be looking out for that. We'll have that available with some goodies up there, so get yourself a shirt if you want to support the show. I'd love to see some of those out there, and then if you get anything, tag us in it, whether that's social media, Twitter, whatever else, let us know. And we will see you back tomorrow for a Ghostbusters Afterlife special edition.
Frog Brothers. Frog Brothers. Frog Brothers. These are my dinner guests. The Frog Brothers. Frog Brothers. Frog Brothers. These are my dinner guests. Frog Brothers. Frog Brothers. Frog Brothers. These are my dinner guests. The Frog Brothers.
Shut this off. Shut these all off.